Welcome back, everyone. Today I am going to deconstruct cabbage rolls. We're going to make them all in one skillet, and it's going to be faster than if you had to roll cabbage leaves with that mixture inside. Y'all ready? Y'all come on over here and let's get started. We're going to start in a large Dutch oven or a large spaghetti pot. We're going to turn it on to a medium-high heat. Now I've got 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and I'm just going to break it up. And then we're going to start browning it. Now I'm just using my meat chopper. This tool has been with me for 5.5 years, and it's been through a lot of meals. Generally, most of the stuff I use you can find in my Amazon store link down below in the description box, or you can find it in my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com, where you can find this recipe also. All right, while that's browning up, let's go ahead and chop 2 onions up. Now the recipe calls for 1 chopped onion, but I'm going to put 2 in because these are pretty small. I got a medium and probably a little smaller than that. So I'm just taking off the ends. We're going to peel off the outer layer on both onions and then give them a nice chop. Now once we get these chopped up, I'm going to go ahead and just add them right into the ground beef. About that size right there. All right, while we get the ground beef nice and browned up and the onions softened down, we're going to start chopping up our cabbage. Now, I just have a medium head of green cabbage, and I'm just going to cut off all the sides, get down to that core, and then just chop it up. It's easy to cut a cabbage just like this. All right, we'll take that core off. Now we're going to cut this into bite-sized pieces. It'll be easy for people to eat. And it will wilt down a lot once it starts cooking. All right, that's good. Now while you're cutting your cabbage, just keep an eye on your ground beef and onion, moving it around, that way it gets nice and brown. If you're tired of eating salads and not cooking anything, put this one together really quickly. All right, that's my recipe right there. All right, when it's done, what we're gonna do is just drain out any excess grease that you may have in there. I'm just gonna push everything off to the side, grab some paper towels, and absorb all that grease we have down there that we don't want in our dish. There we go. And then once we do that, we're gonna add our cabbage. Wilt that down just a little bit before we add everything else to make some room. There we go. All right, let's add the cabbage. I love this recipe. When you don't have time or it's too hot to make regular cabbage rolls, here's all the flavors. Everything you love about a cabbage roll. Now this is one of my older books here, so I kind of tend to go out of order on things, but it's the same ingredients and the same directions, it's just a little out of order. You know, you do that when you have a cookbook. As you're doing recipes, got my fan blowing over there, then you learn shortcuts and you make notes on stuff like that. All right, we're gonna cook this down just a little bit. You don't want to totally get it wilted. We want to be able to add all of the rest of the ingredients. All right, let's start adding in our garlic. 1 tablespoon. I find adding it right now helps because you kind of cook that garlic and open up the aromas of it while it's cooking with the ground beef and the cabbage. So we're going to stir that in. Give it about 30 seconds or so to release the flavors. Okay, y'all, come on down here. And let's start adding the good stuff. Not that this is good stuff, but we need 10 ounces of water, 1 can of tomato soup. This is 10.75 ounces. There we go. 1 can of Rotel mild diced tomatoes and green chilies. This is a 10-ounce can. We'll get that opened up. That'll add a nice flavor. We're going to add in 10 ounces of chicken broth. I know I get a lot of comments on that, like why not beef broth and why the chicken broth? Well, the chicken broth is a milder flavor, or you can do the beef broth if you want to do that. Just a richer flavor. There we go. Kind of whichever one you have on hand. All right, we're going to add that. Okay, we've got some long grain white rice. It's going to be uncooked when we add it. 1 cup. Now I got a 1 cup measuring tool here. There we go. Sprinkle that on in. All right, let's stir this all together to combine everything. Ooh, it smells good in there. We're going to bring the salt and pepper over. We're going to give this a taste and kind of see where we want our seasonings. Because we got all that cabbage and the onions in there, the tomatoes and the ground beef, and we need to season all of that. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of salt. We can adjust as we go. And then definitely half a teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to give this a mix and then we'll give it a try. So I'm just going to go into the juice part of it, not the rice. You don't want to be crunching on rice. All right. That tastes like a cabbage roll. All right, I'm going to put this on high and bring it to a fast boil. All right, once it comes to a boil, we're going to lower the heat to a low. We're going to place the lid on. We're going to cook this for about 20 minutes or so. Make sure you check your rice and that it is cooked through. If it's not, give it a few more minutes. I'll be back. Oh, make your house smell delicious. All right, let's finish this off. I have a few more things to put on top. We're going to add, let's see, what is this? 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. I'm going to pour that all over the top. This is a casserole, and generally casseroles, this is a 1 skillet casserole, and generally casseroles have cheese. I'm going to sprinkle some parsley on top. We're going to place the lid on. We're going to allow that cheese to melt, and then we're going to plate it up. All right, we're ready. Oh, look at that. Deconstructed cabbage roll in 1 skillet. Oh, there we go. Who brought a fork? Let's give it a try. You got it. It's delicious. All those flavors pop in this dish here. Deconstructed cabbage rolls. I definitely taste that cabbage roll in this dish right here. All right, y'all. Just make sure that your rice is cooked through and nice and tender. Your cabbage is tender while you're cooking it. It may take a little bit longer. If you feel like you need to add a little bit more liquid, you can do that. I wouldn't go any more than like half a cup, but I didn't have to do that. But just keep an eye on that. Don't just turn it off at 20 minutes and then try to plate it up, all right? Make sure everything is nice and tender and cooked through. All right. Give me a thumbs up on this one if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. I'll see y'all on the next episode.